guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Afia. Make sure you subscribe, and if you've already been here, hello and welcome back. This video is my birth story, and I've also got live little snippets, basically like a little vlog of exactly what happened on the day. I'm not gonna hold back. I feel like there's so many things that actually happen in childbirth that people don't really talk about, so we're about to get into it. And also I'm also here to emphasize about birth plans and how I don't even think it should be called a birth plan. I literally think it should be called birth preferences, because essentially you may have a preference of how you want your birth to go, but there's no way you can plan it because anything can happen. Literally, like, you cannot call it a plan, because a plan is like, yeah, I plan for this to happen and this is what's going to happen. But a preference makes more sense because you prefer this, and you might think, you know, yeah, I like the idea of holistic swimming pools and all that good birth center stuff, but really things may switch up and you may end up in the labor ward like me. So let's get into the birth story, the birth of my son. In the third trimester, the last 2 weeks, I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm massive, firstly. Secondly, I can't sleep. Like, getting comfortable was just a real big mission. And then also I felt really like almost like period pain, like a real dull ache at like the bottom of my stomach, like the pelvis area, for 2 weeks straight. Like, it was hurting. I was like, oh my gosh, will this end? And technically I think that was Brexton Hicks, like kind of like the start of like early labor, like just the beginning, like the body getting ready. It got to Wednesday the 10th of March, and I was kind of googling all the little, you know, like the old wives' tales and the little so-called things that help to progress your labor, because I was like, you know what, I kind of want it to be time. Like, I'm ready now. This whole big belly, can't really get comfortable, I need it to end. So I was googling and I saw raspberry leaf tea was like a good idea, bouncing on the like ball was a good idea, and I also saw that cinnamon tea was a good idea. So basically I needed things to get moving, so I started to boil cinnamon. We had it at home, boiled cinnamon and made the tea on the Wednesday. It's Thursday 11th of March, and my boyfriend, in a jokey way, was like, I feel like things are gonna happen today. Like, I think if it does happen, just make sure. He basically told me that Arsenal are playing this evening, and yeah, things can happen. Like, that's good if it does, but please just make sure that it happens after the match. So we're all laughing like, haha, whatever. Like, listen, if it happens, it happens. But yeah, I mean, ideally you'd watch your football and then we go. So I think it was that morning or like the afternoon, I thought, you know what, cinnamon, is it helping, is it not? I'm not sure, but let's boost this up, let's boost it up, and let's try and find the raspberry leaf tea, because he couldn't find it in any Tesco's or anything. So we googled, and I think Holland and Barrett's had it, or maybe Boots. We were gonna have a look. So I decided, let's walk, because also they said like walking helps as well in pregnancy, especially towards the end as well, to make sure like the baby's in the right position and just to like keep moving. I tried to walk maybe in the afternoon, and this walk is only like 10 minutes, and I literally couldn't walk. I made it not even, I think I got like to 1 street away, and my back was hurting, like in a way that I could, like to the point that I couldn't walk, and I've obviously never been in such pain before, so we had to turn back. And at this time I wasn't really thinking, maybe this is the beginning, but clearly it was. So yeah, my back's hurting. I got through the rest of the day kind of just chilling, really. Football happened. I don't know, did Arsenal win that day? I'm not sure. But anyway, football happened. He was happy. And as soon as the football ended, things got real. I'm feeling pain, like real pain, and basically the contractions literally started as soon as the football ended. It was so funny. And it was just like, it almost feels like period pain, but like whoosh, and then it stops. I downloaded an app called the Contraction Timer app. I think I had to pay, can't remember. Paid a little price for it, and got that app, recorded the first contraction at 23:10. So this is 10 past 11. And we were like, okay, yeah, start recording them. And literally straight away, they were coming pretty fast and fairly strong. At the time, I was thinking, okay, this hurts, but now looking back, they were like, okay, I was able to talk, it was manageable. So then, because I was giving birth not in a hospital near me, in a hospital near my boyfriend's house, we decided, okay, let's start moving to head that way just in case things happen really quick. It's best to obviously be on that side of things. So we basically started getting ready, kind of chilling. Like at this point, contractions were happening, but I was cool. I had no idea what was to come. Everything was fine. I was chilling. My mum recommended that I used a TENS machine. I bought it. Some people rent it, which obviously is cool, but I bought one, and my mum said that she remembers using it, and they told her that if you use it right at the start, it's most effective, and just like use it throughout early labour. So I put it on my back. It's like these sticky things, and then when you feel a contraction, you press the button, and it kind of helps with the pain. Especially because my back was killing. Like as a contraction came, my back was just in agony. And then we decided to head to South London, which is where I was going to basically be giving birth. It took us a long time to leave the house, but we eventually left. Hey guys, so update, I've just had a shower. I've just changed my clothes into something more comfortable. Ow, sorry, the place is a mess, but we're gonna tidy it up. It's just because we're like getting everything ready, but it's go time. The contractions are now averaging at 4 minutes and 16, every 4 minutes and 16 seconds, and they are 1 minute and 47 average duration. So it's time to go to the hospital just to double check how things are going. But yeah, the pain is like, what's good is that it comes and goes, which is why I'm coping. So like now it's gone, I can talk and you know I'm fine. But when it comes, not fun at all. I'm feeling a bit tired, I can't lie. What's the time actually? It's 2:31. I can't believe this is happening at night. I kind of wanted it to be at night because I feel like it's just a bit more like cool and it's an adventure. But it's just crazy. I can't believe we're here. But yeah, anyway, I will update you again. I'm really excited.
Amen. We give thanks for this night. We're very blessed and thankful for the arrival of this new member of our family. Amen.
I was just using the TENS machine, getting through it. Got to the birthing centre, which is what was the plan, you know, the plan. And everything was laid out really pretty. You could like change the lighting and put like red, you could put any different colour you wanted. There was like little candles, like the electric ones. There was just like, it was just good vibes, you know, really pretty place. And they checked me to see how dilated I was, basically a vaginal examination. I don't know if I'm even allowed to say that word on YouTube, but here we are. And you see that? You see the pain of I thought this whole thing like, oh yeah, let's see how dilated you are. Why doesn't anybody tell you that that is so painful? Oh my god. It literally feels, I can't explain it to you, like it feels like someone's just ripping out your insides. Like that is the most, oh my gosh. At that point, I think I deep like, if this is just the beginning where this isn't even the real pain, what am I about to go through? Like I was shook at this point. They do the vaginal examination, and I think I cried. I remember, yeah, I cried. I actually cried. It was so painful. Anyway, they done that, and I realized they told me that I'm 1 centimetre. We actually knew that it couldn't have been like that far because obviously it's really early days. Done the vaginal thing, I'm like, oh my gosh, 1 centimetre. Still getting over the fact that they just done all that to me. But anyway, found out 1 centimetre. They literally gave me toast bit of jam, and they were like, yeah, go home, still early days, like you're still fine until you're like proper in pain, don't come back. So we went to my boyfriend's house because now we're based in South because that's where the hospital is, and his mum is a midwife, so she kind of coached me through the whole thing, like giving tips on like how to breathe and blah blah blah. So we're at home now for the next 24 hours, and yeah, or something like that, or like most of the day. So at this point it is early hours of, I think it was like early hours of the 12th. So now it's Friday, and I spent the whole of Friday at home using the TENS machine, using like hot towels on my back. And actually I forgot to mention, at the birth centre when I first went there, they basically told me that the baby's position is back to back. I had never heard of that before. No one told me what back to back was. I didn't know anything about it. And they basically said it's where instead of the baby's back being where your stomach is, like facing this way, his back was this way. So his head was down and everything, but his back was on my back. And when I'd done a little bit of reading, I saw that that makes your back like really painful, which is actually like one of the worst types of labour to have when the baby is back to back. It's not a good position at all, basically. So of course, this is why my back was in agony. Like the pain was on another level. It was like 7ish, had dinner, we had Nando's. I remember that. I had a bath and then I threw up. And then, because again, my boyfriend's mum's a midwife, she was like, all these little signs are like, okay, yeah, things must be moving. And at this point, it was like, when the contraction happened, don't talk to me. Like, I can't talk. Before, it was like, I'm in pain, but it's okay, da, da, da. At this point, it was like, whoosh, like pain. Unreal pain. I cannot even describe to you the pain. At this point, I went from being able to speak through them and like just fine, just a bit of pain, ow, move on to like it's hurting now, and I can't even, I have to focus, you know when you have to like just breathe through it. Yeah, that's where I was at. I really remember that, to be fair. And yeah, then we decided, yeah, I think it's time to go to hospital. We're finally on our way back to the hospital, where we're just hoping that things move quicker now. I'm quickly chatting in this break because when the contractions come, it's awful. But yeah, we're going back to the hospital now, so I'll check in with you guys in a bit. So we got to the hospital at about 8ish, again back to the birth centre because that was part of my plan. I wanted a water birth, all that. I just thought that that sounded nice, swimming pool, like I like water, all of that good stuff. So we went back to the birth centre and they had to check me again, and I braced myself. In fact, at this point I was given gas and air to help with the pain, but it was weird. Like, I generally don't think it helped at all. I think it's more of like a distraction. Anyway, doing the gas and air, they do the examination, and I'm like, pain. Like, why does that hurt so much? Anyway, they told me that I was between 4 and 5 centimeters, which actually was really good considering that I was at home all that time, no pain relief, just firming it basically. But yeah, got to hospital, 4 centimeters. They were like, cool. And then we had to do our COVID tests.
Did you put the right end on that one as well? You did? Sorry, no.
No, I'm not trying to do this.
Oh, you put the wrong end in.
Yeah, right.
Felt that. It's so sharp. Yeah, I was thinking as well. I was like, yeah, you can't touch the tongue, can't you? Because of them.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I know you go for a lot. It's all like extra hassle, isn't it? I've got MRSAs on me. Sorry.
So clearly at this point I was in a lot of pain, as you saw. So we needed to crank up a bit in terms of the pain relief. There's a certain amount of drugs in the birth centre, and then if it's too much, you then have to go to like the labour ward for a different level. So let's just say birth centre stopped here, then there's like the labour ward stuff. So I basically said, listen, this is killing. What can I have at the birth centre? But I still want to go in the pool, so like let's just see what I can have. So they offered a drug called pethidine, which is an injection, and I got that, and everything was going okay. I was in a lot of pain still, using the gas and air. Pethidine, I think it kicked in, and this is a part that everything just went a bit blurry. It's like I remember it, but I don't remember it, because I remember being just like a zombie. Like, I remember being in the pool, coming out of the pool, trying again, bouncing the ball, but then feeling like I was gonna drop. I remember being on the bed. All sorts of madness happened within those next 4 hours, but afterwards they realised that I was 7 centimetres. So that's good progress, like 7 is good. So at this point now, I'm completely out of it, but I remember saying I needed to go to the toilet. And I remember also in my reading and my research that when you feel like you need to go to the toilet, that might mean that the baby's coming and you need to push. So I'm thinking, in between my haziness, I remember thinking, do you know what? I think it's time, like, baby must be coming. So yeah, at this point, I'm just in and out of the pool, like just trying to get through, but it was getting very, very much, it was scary at this point, I'd say. Very scary. At this point, I'm just a mess, to be fair. Like, I'm in and out of the pool, falling asleep, can't stand up, everything is just wild. Every time I fall asleep, a contraction comes and I get woken back up from it, because the pain at this point is excruciating. I'm trying to explain it, but my only way to explain it, I've been telling my friends and everyone that asks, it's like, obviously things hurt now. Like, when I used to get like blood tests or like all these like needles, stuff like that, that hurts, and I cannot take away anyone's pain. But you see that pain that I was going through there, it's like, it's pain on another, like you can't put it into words. Like, the pain is nuts. So this pain is absolutely killing me, and I'm like, I can't, at this point I'm like, I don't think I can do it. Like, this is not working. I had like a birth playlist going on. I told my boyfriend, cut the music. And for me to say to cut music, you know that I'm not in the mood at this point. I'm just like, I can't do this, I cannot do this, please make it stop. They gave me another vaginal examination, again, that is killing me. And they're like, you're 4 centimetres. But 4 hours ago, they said I was 7. It was a madness. Clearly, there was some sort of like they didn't do that bit properly, the 7. So we think that was like an overestimate, or it gets technical, but basically you can actually think it's a bit bigger than it is because of membrane. Listen, I'm not a midwife, I don't know these things, but basically that was a miscalculation, because 7 to 4, it's impossible, like that doesn't happen like that. So basically in all that time, I basically hadn't improved. So obviously I'm in and out of sleep still. I'm just like, nah, I can't. You need to make it stop. The pain is too much. I can't do this. But at the birth centre, obviously, because it's written in your plan that you want a natural birth, you just want to, you know, give birth in the pool, as I wrote, they still try and encourage you to stay there. No, like, you can do this, blah, blah, blah. I said, no. I can't do this. I can't do it. Like, I just don't want to do it anymore. What else can I have? Because I can't. Then they offered another pethidine injection, which we were like, no. The way this girl is falling down, like just wobbling, falling asleep, getting up, eyes rolling to the back of her head, let's not do that again. So at this point, I'm on the bed. Bear in mind, as I'm telling this story, I'm not actually being the spokesperson to what happens. At this point, I'm like, I was out of it and other people had to speak for me to say, no, she can't do that. So I just remember starting to say, what about an epidural? Like, I just want an epidural, it's too much, can't do it. So then I think we had to wait for something. They're like, if you want an epidural, that means you have to go to the labour ward. I said, listen, send me, because I can't handle this anymore. This is obviously still in and out of sleep, just, yeah, can't do it. So then, I don't know what happened, but the epidural got confirmed that it's going to happen. They've got to take your bloods. And I just remember waking up and seeing blood just splattered everywhere. I think because I was in and out of it, they tried to do the take the blood here because they need to put a cannula in. And I think if I'm waking up for every contraction, as they're trying to go in, I'm waking up, so splat, like everything's just happening. I remember waking up like, ow, like what is this in my hand? I don't know what's going on, but this is wild. Then there was a delay in getting the blood. It took like an hour, which apparently again is really, really long for just a blood test or whatever it was. So again, I'm in pain. I just remember my back getting rubbed. I remember the gas and air. Why is the gas and air like something from 1920? It's like a tube that comes with a massive canister on like a wheelbarrow thing. And everything just kept falling apart and I was so annoyed. You know, you just think that something's gonna work better than it is and it's not working. Like, oh, I was so annoyed. It was so annoying. I remember it so well. So the gas and air's falling apart. I'm just like, I need this epidural now. Like, I need it now. Ugh. I remember it so well. Then finally, I get taken to have the epidural. And let me tell you, as soon as they do that epidural, you've got to sit still because a special anaesthetist, I hope I'm saying that right, an anaesthetist or anaesthetist. This person came and done the epidural, like a little needle. No, big needle actually. Why am I saying little? Big needle. That's why I said I'm not making this, I'm not playing down what happened. A big needle came. I didn't look at it, went in my back, and the pain stopped instantly. The only thing that carried on was the back pain, because being back to back means the back pain is just gonna hurt. But I think what happens is, I don't remember, but I think you can kind of like top it up a bit, because it's something that's running through your back, like something's running through. I remember that. So there's something that I can press to kind of top it up. So like I was kind of using that to manage the back pain, kind of something like that. Anyway, so yeah, epidural's gone in and you feel nothing at all. Like the contractions become nothing. I was chilling. In my head I'm thinking, why didn't I just do this earlier? Because I really went through that whole beginning bit just to be here in the labour ward, chilling. Back is hurting, but I'm fine. And I basically just went to sleep, because bear in mind at this point, I was in pain from Thursday. We're now on early hours of Saturday. Like, it's crazy. We're now on the 13th, so my sleep was very minimal apart from now. At this point, I was chilling, sleeping, cool. They basically, at this point, they keep checking me and they're like, you know what? You're not improving, basically. It went like we were still at that 4 or 5 dilation centimeters situation, and they were like, we might offer you a hormone drip, and that's basically to increase your contractions to make things progress quicker. Because bear in mind, we're now on Thursdays happens, Fridays happen, we're now on Saturday. So they're like, we might offer you the hormone drip. Then after some like discussions, there was like a consultant, midwives, like just so many people. They were like, to be fair, the contractions are good enough and strong enough, because even though you can't feel the pain, on the monitor you can still see that contractions are happening, and they were strong and consistent, basically exactly how they're meant to be, and that's meant to make your dilation happen like for it to get bigger. But they were like, your contractions are fine, like the hormone drip is meant to make them better, but they're already really good, so what's the point of doing that? And then it was basically, in fact, one of the midwives suggested like this natural aromatherapy clary sage thing that was kind of like a, you know, those like steam things that let off like a fragrancy type thing. I don't remember it having a smell, but it was like letting off some like thing to basically also help that situation. But again, it wasn't nothing really. I think it helped a little bit, but it wasn't significant enough, especially now the fact that this is Saturday, this has been since Thursday. So after the discussions, I basically like, to be fair, it's progressing really slowly, and if we continue letting it go like this, it's likely that there's gonna have to be some interventions, which is like tough on the baby and tough on you, because they may end up having to use forceps to like pull him out. At the time I didn't even know it was a boy, but pull the baby out, which can like affect the skull and like cause tearing down there and all that stuff. And they said if we might even likely to have a C-section, all these different things. So they're saying the fact that it's progressing slowly, it's likely they're gonna have a C-section. If you don't have a C-section, they're probably gonna have to yank him or her out. So we were discussing, and it was just like, listen, at this point I'm tired, at this point I'm hungry, because there was something, I can't remember why I couldn't eat. I think it was because we were deliberating if we have a C-section, and because if you're gonna have a C-section you can't eat. I was hungry, and they were just like, I just said, you know what, well, it took a while to be fair, because obviously a C-section comes with its cons as well, in terms of the recovery and all that stuff. So we were discussing as like a whole group. My midwives were so nice, there was 2 of them. And yeah, we were just like, the pros, the cons, And then we just said, you know what? Well, I said, you know what? I think I'm just gonna have the C-section.
Last step for real now.
So yes, I went to have a C-section, and let me tell you, why could I still feel pain? Obviously they give you anesthetic to numb the pain, and I'd already, because you've already had the epidural, they don't have to put you to sleep. You could just basically get a top up, and then they test to make sure that you can't feel anything. So it's not that I could feel getting cut open, but you feel like your organs are being shifted. Like you can literally feel them shifting. Literally, that's how it felt. And I felt sick. I remember having to have like a little sick bucket. I remember even having to have gas and air. Can you imagine gas and air to have a C-section? All these things that I thought were pain-free, like, were just painful. Like, it wasn't even that it was painful. It wasn't that it was painful, but it was just like, I can't think about it too much. But anyway, I had the C-section and my son was born. And that was it, really. Obviously, it was a madness. Like, overall, it was crazy. But yeah, I had the C-section, and he was born on his due date, which is really rare. Oh, we are all done. Hey.
Fast asleep.
No, we're done now, thank you.
It's alright.
Gosh, I'm tired. So that was my birth video. I really hope you took something from it. I really hope you learned something and just got a better insight, or more of an insight, into what can happen during a birth, and to know that, you know, your birth plan really isn't the exact thing that could happen. It is just a preference, which is good for your midwives to know exactly what you hope to have, but just to be open-minded and prepared for whatever could happen. And what I do have to say is, I would not have got through this without my birth partners. So firstly, big up them. Secondly, to big up to, is the people who at the point of the pandemic who weren't allowed anyone in with them. I don't even know what I would have done, because remember I said at a point I was passing out and waking back up, and then at the point where they had to say, oh no, she shouldn't have another, like, one of the drugs. Who would have spoken for the people that had to do it on their own? Oh, I don't even want to have to think about it. Oh my gosh. I respect the people that had to go through childbirth on their own on another level. That is insane. Props to you. That is crazy. But yes, thank you for watching my video, and I will see you next time. And yeah, share your story as well below. If you had a back-to-back birth, I'd love to know what your experience was like too, or if you're team C-section, or what do they call it, sunroof babies or something. No, sunroof birth. That's funny. That is weird. Like, my stomach was a sunroof. Oh, anyway, goodbye. Thank you for watching.